As a black man, I'm I get tired of constantly seeing my people. We upset. That's all we do. We just get upset. That's all we do. We're experts in getting upset. And the solutions that I see most times that people suggest, it's just not plausible. It's ideas that more reflective of emotion, but not like logical, reasonable observation. The past has its place and its purpose. You know, when we learn about activities and learn about actions taken by others, we learn about things and happenings. But we also have to synchronize that with the present. So it's like bringing somebody from the '60s to the 2000s. Their ideas may not be plausible because many things change. The issue is the same, but their ideas may not be plausible because the landscape is different. You have a lot of blacks that's educated, that have businesses, own properties. You have a lot more people, so it's not the same specific challenge. The challenge is covert now, or well, it's always been covert and overt, but it's just different. So when I see people, we get upset and we just the ideas that I see presented are victim ideas, and the ideas of poor people don't make sense to people that's middle class, if you want to call it that. Um, the ideas of people who live day to day, paycheck to paycheck, don't make sense to people who have salaries, or who can afford to live. That bills himself is not specifically the first concern in their life. People with no education, no real education. When I say education, I'm being very specific about this. Like education, when you are educated, it's not just about knowing more than the other. It teaches you how to think. When you go to high when you take when you've been through higher education, college, university, it's not that the people know more about a specific subject than you. It's that going through that process, like a research paper, you learn to understand what credible resources is and why it's important. You learn to not think with your emotion. Supposedly, you learn to be logical. So if you're a person who went to school, you learned about the human body, you learned about science, history, you should be less likely to be a racist individual because your brain thinks better. That's what I mean why education is important. So it's not to say that not having education makes you less than, but when you pursued or experienced higher education, not necessarily that you've even graduated, but that you've been through those classes, you've been through research papers, you've been critiqued, you just learn how to think better. So people with education, the ideas of the uneducated doesn't make sense to them. It's like someone coming and talking about politics, but they don't even know the basic foundation of the U.S. government. The only thing they go by is the emotion. Oh, it don't matter. It don't count. There's the white man, or the Bilderberg group, or these things. Like they don't even understand the basic foundation. Listen, you can believe that the United States government system is fake, but there are three branches of government. It's a real system with real people. And these people that's in there, that's steering the country, that's been controlling the company, are being voted in there, whether you believe voting counts or not. So as we sit in here believing vote and not count, the very fact that we're able to do the things we're doing is because of voting. But let's just say you don't care about voting. So what's your solution? To me, as I observed in my life and as I am today, what moves this world? When we're looking at TV, we're looking at doctors and researchers and politicians and lawyers. When we got to go to the doctor, when we got to look for a job, when we got to go to the bank, these are all individuals who specialize in a field, went to school, got educated in financing, medicine, technology, wherever it is, and now they went on and became professionals in those fields. So when you go into the doctor, you're looking at an individual who is just like you. When you go into the dentist, when you go into anything, you're looking at individuals just like you. When you go into the bank to apply for loans, or you hear news reports of major corporations coming out with technology. These are individuals who went to school. I mean, individuals just like you. When you go into buy your house, when you're going to shop at the supermarket, when you're going to All the things that we subconsciously respect, these are individuals just like you. How many of you grew up with someone and now you're in your 40s or your 30s and these people are professionals now? They went on and gained skills and education and they're professionals now. They're living a better life. There's no magic. If you in your 30s and your 40s, you still paying, like you're still living paycheck to paycheck, or you still have these dreams of what you want to do, or you still just, when you're looking for a job, you only can look for customer service, or you only can look for, it's not knocking that, but the system is very simple to understand. It's what if you don't, you gotta, people who went and gained skills or gained something specific, imagine you're looking for a job, and when you're looking for a job, you have no skill. You may be able to do shit, but you don't have any credentials to show the person who's going to pay you that you can do a skill. So what you're looking for? You're looking for expendable jobs that anyone can do. Warehouse, customer service, even jobs that you see people have to dress up in. A lot of them still don't require a specific skill education. It requires that you have a work history and you have a high school diploma. But when you look at people who are doing well in life, who went on, these people are people who just, they're regular people. So ride through Rutgers, ride through Seton Hall, ride through these colleges and look at these people in America who look at the graduations. They graduate in law, they graduating with medical degrees, they graduating with research degrees, technology. These people are going to high yield fields. These are the fields that control the environment, control the world. This is no joke, man. No joke. We need to come up with a practical solution first. But I have always believed and still do and always advocate education. Now, if you want to say, well, the education is not for us, you have education and then you have education. You have the one part of that is skill-based. You want to be a doctor, you go learn Western medication. If you believe in African traditional medicine, what you can do on your own time, you do that. But you want to be a doctor, you want to go out here and make a difference, you go to school and you become a doctor, a lawyer, a politician. Now, you as a person and what you know about yourself, unfortunately, that's something that you're going to have to take advantage of yourself to learn about. That's a practical solution. All this stuff, we always upset. I remember when it came out that we were upset about the coronavirus thing. I posted something that my wife had. My wife had to do a community health report. And what it entails, I mean, it's frustrating because we have to bring emotion out of it. We can be animated when we talk, but our logic can't be run by emotion. If I gave a scenario, and I wonder how many people understood it's simple. Percentages, it's simple. Let's take a city that's an urban city, and they got 20 people. And then in that 20 people, they don't have high school diplomas or they don't have health care. So what's a few things? One is going to be a city that can't support itself. So it's going to need state funds to offer the water treatment, the garbage treatment, the ambulance and all that stuff. And then it'd be most likely a dilapidated place with people on Section 8, where the property's bad. It's going to be crime, drugs, most likely. And what's going to happen if 20 people, if 15 of them do not have health care and they got diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke and all this, that community is sick. It's not about it that is 500,000, but that community compared to the one up the street from it with a little higher income bracket will be considered a community in crisis. I'm not saying real talk. I'm saying ego talk. No, let me take that back. I'm saying people with passion. I'm not saying real talk. Things where we use intellect and logic and reason. We can't live off the past. The past has to guide us, but shit is different. I can sit at my table right now with 3-4 brothers and sisters, and we could come up with a plan and go execute it. 45, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, maybe we couldn't. And that's the difference. That's the difference. We can decide to say, you know what? All right, our school ain't educating our kids about our history. So here's what we're going to do, y'all. Every day, every night, we read a book to our kids. We can do stuff like that. Instead of saying, oh, the education ain't teaching us about ourselves. We can't dismiss that. Once you can provide a quality life for yourself and your children, that's when you move up and you get better. You use more collaborative work. We need to up the conversation, man.